Good morning, student. Uh, I hope you are studying at your home and you are preparing your notes. I want to inform student those assessing video class first time. So I want to inform what content of chapter crop and production I covered till today. So topic covered in this chapter till today are food, as you studied in grade 7, and needs of food, why foods are required, needs of food, and important point related to food is sources of food. So as we know that our food sources are two. One is plant, maximum foods depend on plants, and second is animals. So these two are the sources from where we can get our food, plant and animals. Okay, and if we are growing plants and rearing animal, if we are growing plants and rearing animals, it is known as agriculture. So, if we are growing crop, then we are following number of process to grow crops. So, as you studied in previous video, crops. So, what is crops? Crops means if we are growing plants in large quantity in same field is known as crop. Crops are based on or categorization of crops are based on seasons and also our requirement. So we further classify crops according to season like the Rabi crop, Kharif crop and Zaid crop. According to the requirement we can divide in a number of category crops like that food crops. We are growing number of food crops. Also, we are growing crop for our profit, so we can say that these are crop, cash crop. We are growing crops to fulfill our requirement related to the kilos is known as fiber crops. So, these are the categorization of crops. Further, food crops also categorize cash crop, fiber crops. Further, we can categorize, but in our previous video we discussed about this, and also I discussed one agriculture practice that performed by farmer to grow crop in their field. So that process was preparation of field, means we are preparing field to grow crop. Like that you are preparing field for your exam and mother is preparing to cooking food, so they can collect material is required to prepare food. In similar manner, when farmers are going to cultivate, when farmers are going to produce crops, so they should prepare field for it. So they are preparing field. In preparation of field, we discuss about tools required for preparation field. We discuss process like that. Process we discuss in this plowing process, and second process we discuss labeling process. Also we discuss what are the advantage of plowing, what are the advantage of labeling, already we covered. So today I will discuss next process that is known as next process or second process is known as sowing of seeds. This is the second process. Okay, sowing of seed. So before discussing before discussing sowing of seed, I want to draw your attention on some important point, and these important points are, as you know, our country is populous country, and in world our country is at second position in terms of population. So there is a requirement of the eatable things in large amount. There is a requirement of the to grow or to produce these crop in large amount. So according to the union budget, according to the union budget 2019-20, our 50% population, our country's 50% population depends only on agriculture. That means our India's 50% population depends only on agriculture field, means they are getting things for their survival from agriculture, and this field is containing 9 to 10% in GDP. In GDP, in gross domestic product, percentage of this field is only 9 to 10, and 50% of our India's country depends only on that. So you can see what kind of the problem are there. Persons are not getting eatable things in proper amount for their survival because of this. So due to these problem, number of revolution takes place till now. Out of these revolution, I want to take some revolution in your note. First revolution is related to grain production. Grain production. That revolution is known as Green Revolution. Green Revolution. And this revolution came in India in 1965. In 1965. And father of this revolution was M.S. Swaminathan. Father of this revolution was M.S. Swaminathan. Second revolution was Blue Revolution, and this Blue Revolution related to aquaculture. Aquaculture. What is the meaning of aquaculture? Aquaculture means to increase production in sea, to increase production in marine, or to increase production in water. Means we are increasing production of fishes and also water plants. Now third revolution related to milk production. Third revolution related to milk production. And this revolution came in India in 1970. In 1970, and father of this revolution was Verghese Kurian. Verghese Kurian is known as father of this revolution. In this revolution, he said that we have to link all states in this field to increase milk production, and as you know, we are at first position in milk production in world. Now fourth revolution that is related to the oil production, because oil is an essential eatable things that required in our daily life. So that is related to the oil seed production, and this revolution is known as yellow revolution. And next revolution is related to honey production, related to horticulture field, and also this field is related to flowering plant production. And in this field we are increasing production of these honey, horticulture and flowering plants, and this name is golden revolution. So out of some revolution, these were some important revolution. These revolution took place in India to increase rate of production. And what kind of the fields we covered in these revolution? In these revolution, we worked on breeding, we worked on reproduction, we worked on quality, we worked on quantity also. So in each revolution we increased breeding also, and also disease fighting capacity, by which animal can fight against disease and they can give more production. Okay. So as we know, there is a requirement of the food. There is a requirement of the food in yielding quantity. So we are growing crops, and second process of agriculture practice is sowing of seeds. So sowing of seeds means we are distributing seeds in field. Sowing of seeds means we are distributing seeds in field, and before distribution of seeds, there is a requirement of the good quality of the seeds. Means we can divide this process in two steps. Step 1, in which we will select good quality and healthy seeds. Good quality and healthy seeds. So first step is related to the selection of good quality and healthy seeds, and second step is related to the sowing of seeds. So how can we know seeds are of good quality and health of seeds is good? Before sowing, we have to select. So I want to show one activity by which we can select good quality seeds. So I have a jar in which I took some water. In this water I will put some grains. I am taking black ground to know these black ground are good quality or not. Means these grams are good for sowing or not. Okay, or what is the percentage of healthy seeds in this? So I will put these all black grams in water. Okay, so you can see, simply I am taking a jar in which I took some water, and also I am pouring black gram in this jar. So you can see all grams are settled in bottom, or I will strip, because if some healthy seeds are above then damaged seeds. So damaged seeds will not float on water surface. You can see all seeds are settled down in bottom and no seeds is floating on surface of water. That means all seeds are good quality. Means these black gram are perfect for sowing. So I will select these black gram to sow in field. Now we have to focus on another step, sowing of seeds. Means now we will move in field where we have to sow seeds. So we can sow seeds with the help of the tools or manually. So there are also we have to focus process how we can sow seeds. So first is manual process, manual method by which we can sow seeds, and also second method is by using tools. Okay, manual method means that is a simple method. I will take grain in my hand. I will take grain in my hand and I will scatter simply these seeds in field. So I will take grains in my hand and I will scatter like that these seeds in field. So what will happen? These seeds will distribute in field. But so this method of distribution of seeds is known as broadcasting method. So what we are doing in broadcasting method? We are distributing means we are spreading seeds. Or we are scattering seeds. In field. In broadcasting method, what we are doing, as I show to you, I will took some grains in my hand and I will scatter these grains like that in field. So these grains will scatter in field. But problem is that these seeds will not distribute uniformly. Means distribution of seeds will not be uniform. At some place density of grains will be more, and at some place no grains is distributed in field. So these seeds will not distribute uniform. That means we can say that there will be some disadvantage of scattering of seeds. So what are the disadvantage of broadcasting method? First disadvantage, non-uniform distribution. Seeds will not distribute uniformly, so there will be non-uniform distribution of seeds in field. Second disadvantage of this will be seeds will be on upper surface of the soil. Seeds will not be covered by the soil. So what will happen? These seeds will be eaten by the birds. Seeds will be on top layer of soil, or seeds will not cover so these seeds easily eaten by birds. So these seeds can be easily eaten by birds. And third disadvantage of this process will be overcrowding. As I said, if I will distribute seeds with my hand, so at some place quantity of seeds will be more, so there will be quantity of seedling will also be more, and these seedling will compete for their nutrients, for light and for water. So overcrowding will also be there. So this method is not better method for sowing seeds. And second method in which we are distributing seeds, in which we are also distributing, we are sowing seeds manually, is known as transplanting method. Transplantation. So what we are doing in transplantation method, as you can see, transplantation means we are planting seeds, we are removing seedling or sapling from one place and we are sowing at another place. In which, in this method, in transplantation method, we can take seedling or saplings. So what is the meaning of seedling and sapling? Seedling and sapling are the younger plants, or these are the new growth plants. These are the new plants which we are transplanting from nursery to the main field. Means nursery we are growing these plants, and after that we are transplanting in main field. Okay, so in this method we are transplanting like that some vegetable plants like that. Tomato we can transplant, chilies we can also transplant, and also we can transplant paddy plant we can grow in nursery, and after that we can transplant in main field. So this process is also performed by hands, but this process has advantages because in this process we are transplanting seedlings or saplings, so we can maintain equidistance. Means this is our field, so we can distribute plant, we can transplant plant like that, one plant, two plant, and we can maintain uniform gap in between plants. So these plants will not have to fight for their required nutrients. Okay, so these are the methods which we can perform manually for sowing, and other method we can perform with the help of the tools. So we can use two kind of the tools, as you know, traditional tool we can use, and also we can use seed drill. So what is traditional tool? As we discussed about pillow. So pillow is nothing but it is a wooden or metallic substance which is used to tilt field. Okay, you can see I am going to draw a picture of pillow. So this is a picture of pillow in which you can see there is a one wooden log. If pillow is of wooden material, so there will be a one wooden log, and we can attach wool here, so wool can drag this pillow, and then there is a handle, so farmer can shift this pillow from one point to another point. And there is a one important part of this pillow is penetrator, or we can say that it is a piercing part. Piercing means it will pierce, it will dig in field, due to which soil can turn. Okay, so this will be the pillow. Now in traditional tool, what we are doing, we are attaching in same pillow one funnel like structure, and this funnel like structure is attached to a pipe, and this pipe is a connection in between penetrator and in between penetrator and funnel. So there is a one funnel in which we can put grains, in which we can put seeds, and these seeds can move through this pipe like structure, and this pipe like structure is attached to the piercing end. So this piercing end will pierce the ground and can make furrow. So this can make furrow and seeds can distributed in ground. But problem is that it takes two time, and one person have to move along with this traditional tool. So he have to put continuously grain in that funnel like structure. I want to show one model of this funnel like structure. You can see there is a funnel like structure, and this funnel like structure is attached to a pipe, and this is the penetrator. This end is the penetrator, and if this traditional tool is dragged by the animal, so it will pierce the ground and grains can move. I want to show how grains will move with the help of this. If I will put some grain here, so you can see these grain moves from this part. So continuously I have to put grain in this funnel like structure, and these grains can move through this part, and these grains will also be covered by the soil in ground. So in this method, seeds will be covered automatically by the soil, and seeds also distributed at proper depth, not nearby to the surface of the ground and not in too depth. So these seeds will deep right through air. Means these seeds we can distribute at proper depth, we can distribute at proper gap, we can distribute uniformly, and these seeds will also be covered by the soil. So these seeds will not be eaten away by the birds. Okay. And seed drill. Seed drill we can also say seed drill is a modified form of this tool. As we discussed in our previous class about cultivator. So what are cultivator? Cultivator is nothing but it is a metallic structure in which you can see number of piercing end are attached. Okay, and these piercing end are attached to this metallic, and you can see one piercing end is attached in between two piercing end. So number of furrow can be we can make on in ground. Okay, we cannot attach piercing end like that, because what will happen if we will attach, if we are sowing seeds with the help of this one pipe like structure is attached to that, so seeds are sowed in ground, then these seeds will also displaced by this. So we are attaching in this manner, and each penetrator will be 7, 9 or 11. In this form these penetrator will attach. Above this you can see there is a one box like structure is attached in which we can fill seeds, and there is a one roller in which slots are there. There is a roller in which slots are there. When this roller will rotate, so seeds can displace with the help of these slots in pipe, and through pipe seeds can reach in ground. So this is the modified form of this. In traditional tool there is a one penetrator, one funnel like structure. In this there will be 11, there will be 9, there will be 7 funnel like structure, and we can sow seeds in large quantity. And as we discuss advantage of these two tools, what are the advantages? Seeds will be distributed uniformly, seed distributed at proper depth, seed will be covered by the soil, so seeds will not eaten by the birds. Okay, these are the tools which we are using for sowing purpose. Now, next process which we will follow here, that is known as adding manure and fertilizer. Adding manure and fertilizer. So, as you know, animals are required nutrients in continuous manner. Like that, if we are performing some work, so there is a requirement of the nutrients. Without nutrients, cannot perform work properly. Or if we are not eating food at regular interval, then we cannot perform work continuously. In similar manner, we are growing plants in field. So these plants taking nutrients from the soil, and if we are not adding nutrients in soil, so these plant will not take again same kind of the nutrients in field. So we have to add manure and fertilizer to nourish the field, so we can get yield production. Okay, so I think you can understand why we are adding manure and fertilizer in ground. So we are adding manure and fertilizer in ground to replenish the soil, by which plant can get nutrients which they require for their growth. Why plants are required nutrient? So as we require food, you can compare from ourselves. We are requiring food. Why we are requiring food? We are requiring food for our growth. We are requiring food for our growth. We are requiring food for performing work, means for energy purpose. In similar manner, for reproduction. In similar manner, plants require nutrients. Plants require nutrients for their growth, for their reproduction. Means in absence of nutrients, plant cannot be healthy, plant cannot reproduce. So you can understand why plant require nutrients. What kind of the nutrients plants are required, or from where they are getting these nutrients? So as you know, we are growing plants in field. Field means in soil. We are growing plants in field. As you know, we are growing plants in field. So these plants can take some nutrients from soil. They can take some nutrients from soil. They can take some nutrients from air, and they can also take some nutrients from water. So we can say plants are required 16 nutrients for their growth. How many nutrients are required by the plant? So 16 nutrients are required by the plant. Out of these 16 nutrients, carbon and oxygen plant can get from air, hydrogen and water they can get from hydrogen and oxygen they can get from water. So you can see carbon, oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen. So out of 16, 3 nutrients they can get from water and air, and remaining 13 nutrients they are getting from soil. 13 nutrients they are getting from soil. These 13 nutrients, all nutrients are not required by the plant. So we will categorize 13 nutrients in two categories. So you can see some nutrient plant are getting from air, some nutrients are getting from water. From air they are getting carbon and oxygen. From water they are getting hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. Now you can see from soil they can get 13 nutrients. Okay, and these all 13 nutrients are not required in similar manner. That's why we divided these 13 nutrients in two categories: macronutrients and micronutrients. Micronutrient. Macro means required in large amount. Micro means required in small amount. So you can see, on the basis of plants requirement, we divided these in two categories, 13 nutrients in two categories. Macronutrients means nutrients which required in large amount. Micronutrients mean nutrients which are required in small amount. So what kind of nutrients are required in large amount by the plant? So you can see some nutrients are required by plants in large amount. So nutrients which required by the plants in large amounts are nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, sulfur, so you can see nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, sulfur, calcium, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, sulfur, calcium, and magnesium are required in large amount. So you can see these 6 nutrients required by the plant in a large amount. Okay, we will discuss further from where plants can get nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, sulfur, calcium and magnesium. Now, nutrients which required by the plant in less amount. So, nutrients which required by the plants in less amounts are, you can see, zinc. Zinc we can write zinc and chlorine. Zinc, chlorine, iron, boron. Zinc, chlorine, iron, boron, copper, manganese, and molybdenum. These 7 nutrients are required by plant in less amount. So you can see nutrients plant can get from soil, water and air. From soil and water they can get 3 nutrients, and remaining 13 nutrients they can get from soil. Out of these 13 nutrients, 6 nutrients are required by the plant in large amount and remaining 7 are required by the plant in less amount. Nutrients which are required by the plant in large amount are nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium. These are required by plant in large amount, and nutrients which are required by the plant in less amount are zinc, copper, chlorine, iron, boron, copper, manganese. These all are required in less amount. Now, so you can see plants also require nourishment, and they can get nourished nutrient from soil, water and air. And we can also add these in form of manure. So we have to focus what are manure. Manure are the substance which decompose in pits, means these are the natural substance. So that's why we can say that manure are known as natural fertilizer. So manure are the natural fertilizer. How can we prepare manure? So we can put animal waste like cow dung, urine of animals, and also household waste, means animal waste, household waste and plant waste. We can put these things in a pit: animal waste, household waste and plant waste. And after 5 or 6 months, these things will be decomposed by the decomposing bacteria. So these things will be decomposed. Why? Decomposing bacteria, and decomposed substance we can add in field. So decomposed things of animal waste, household waste and plant waste is known as manure. And manure we are preparing with the help of the natural thing. That's why we can say that is a natural fertilizer. But important point is that these manure are not providing any kind of the nutrients to field, means these are not rich in any kind of the nutrients. Other than this, these manure are increasing texture of the soil. These also increasing water holding capacity of the soil. These also increasing porosity of the soil, and these also give space to increase rate of production of earthworms. So earthworm will increase in field and they can decompose plant waste or crop waste that is available in field. So you can see manure are advantageous if we are adding in field. Generally we can see manures we are adding in field before preparation of the seed. So before plowing process we are adding manure. When we are going to perform plowing process in field, so these manure will add in proper amount in soil. Okay, so I think you can understand from here what are the advantage of manure or what are manure. So manure are the natural fertilizer which we can perform in open field, in pit. We can collect these things in pit, and for a long duration of time, 5 or 6 months, after 5 or 6 months these things will be decomposed by the decomposing bacteria, and this is also known as compost. Means manure is known as compost or manure. But another point is that vermicompost. As we discussed, manure are the decomposed material of natural things. Vermicompost means that is also a decomposed material, but here vermi means earthworms decomposing. Earthworms are used for decomposing. Here you can see earthworms are used for decomposing animal waste, plant waste and also household waste. So this process takes 5 to 6 months. This process will be complete in 1 or 2 months. That means earthworm increasing decomposing capacity, means earthworm increase has earthworm hasten this process. Earthworm are hasten this process. So this process will be complete in 1 or 2 months. If compost is prepared with the help of the earthworm, that's why it is known as vermicompost. And another kind of the manure we are also using in field, that is known as green manure. So what is the meaning of green manure? You can see in field sometimes farmers are growing crop that is known as guar. They are growing crop guar and they can mulch this guar. They can mulch this guar in field. Mulched guar in field during plowing. So, as we discussed, plowing is a process that took place before sowing seeds. So, here you can see farmers are growing guar, and this crop of the guar they mulched in field during plowing. So, these plant of the guar mixed in soil, and these plants decomposed by the decomposing bacteria in field. So during decomposition of these plants of the guar, they release nitrogen and phosphorus. So you can see we can also increase percentage of nitrogen and phosphorus while growing guar or by adding green manure in field. Okay. Now, next point is fertilizer. So what are fertilizer? As we discussed, manure are the organic substance which decomposed in pits, which prepare in fields. But fertilizer are prepared in factories. And these are inorganic material. As we discussed, manure are not rich in any particular kind of the nutrients, but these fertilizer are rich in particular nutrients, and mainly these are rich in NPK. N means nitrogen, P means phosphorus, and K means potassium. So you can see fertilizer are rich in particular kind of the nutrients. Okay, if we are adding fertilizer in large amount in field or for continuous duration, then you can see these can also decrease the fertilizing capacity of the fertility of the soil. So these inorganic substance also decrease the fertility capacity of the soil if we are adding these substance in field continuously. Okay. Number of method also there by which we can also increase, by which we can also nourish soil. So these are crop rotation. These are some process by which we can also increase fertility of soil. First is crop rotation. In crop rotation, what we are doing means we are rotating crop in same season, like that. In this Rabi season, if we are growing in this Rabi season, if we are growing wheat in field, so in another season, in next Rabi season, we can grow leguminous leguminous crop in field, leguminous plant in field. So these leguminous plant have root nodules in which rhizobium bacteria are present, and these rhizobium bacteria can fix atmospheric nitrogen in nitrogenous compound, and these nitrogenous compounds are soluble in water, so these can easily taken by plants. So we can alter crop, that means we will not grow same kind of the crop continuation in field. Okay. Second method, we can also let field empty for some duration of the time, so soil automatically can be replenished. Okay. So crop rotation, and also we can grow two crops simultaneously, means we can grow two crops simultaneously, while we can also increase soil fertility, two crops like that. If we are growing wheat crop in field, along with this wheat crop we can grow mustard crop. So what will happen? Means if there will be attack of insects on field, so if these insects are harmful for one crop, so another crop will be safe in field. And also if we are growing two crops simultaneously in field, then what will happen? If there will be monsoon is affecting production of one kind of the crop, so another crop will not be affected by the monsoon. So farmer can get minimum loss during this. So I think student, number of topic I covered today's class, like that I discuss sowing of the seeds. So in sowing of the seeds I discuss how can we select good quality of the seeds. Once we select good quality of the seeds, then we can distribute these seeds, or we can add these seeds in field by using tools or by hand method. And what are the advantage of tools over manual method we discussed. And after that, how can we nourish soil? So number of method we discussed by which we can nourish soil. As we discussed today, you can prepare your notes along with videos which teachers are preparing. Okay, thank you.